Good evening everybody and welcome to Powershift presented by Boostsa. Tonight we do something a little bit different. We get dirty. We go oval track dirt racing. On top of that, we did some footage at the Cape Classic Car Show, which we'll cut to a little bit later, so stay tuned. Welcome to Powershift. Like we said earlier, tonight we're going to get a little bit dirty and talk oval track racing. Our guests this evening are Frankie and Gary, who are the Western Cape premier commentators for oval track dirt racing. Gary, welcome to the show. Frankie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
We want to get a little bit of history on oval track racing in South Africa and Cape Town. I know oval track racing from when I was a youngster, but when I'm talking about me being a youngster, I'm talking about late 80s, up to about the mid-90s when we still had the tracks down in Goodwood. But I mean, it's been around for a lot longer than that. Right? Gary, maybe you can give us a bit of an idea of how far back oval track racing actually goes.
Oh, it actually goes back a long way further, late 50s, early 60s. In fact, the first track was started by Jack Holloway in Worcester. Then he came across to Cape Town and started the Cape Hull Drivers, which is still running till today. And then more so the premier track in Cape Town in gravel ovals become Tygerberg Raceway, and we are in the 19th year of Tygerberg Raceway already.
That's unbelievable. So Tygerberg Raceway has been around for 19 years already.
Correct. But it's evolved immensely from the original virtually flat surface to a slightly banked surface, and now in the last 3 years under new ownership, it's now become very much a reproduction of an American style banked clay type surface, so that we can run, in addition to the normal classes, you can run late model V8s as well, which is a major attraction at the moment now in South Africa in oval track racing.
Well, that's actually brilliant, because I've been to various racetracks all around the place, and you know, you get the gravel or the clay, as you mentioned now, which is what Tygerberg has got, and you've also got the tar oval racing,
correct,
which is nice and it's quick and it's fast. But you know, to me, and I don't even thinking back to years gone by, I like the idea. I like the stones kicking up. I like the gravel kicking up. I like the dust. You know, and you're saying this is, I mean, Frankie, this is what Tygerberg has got now?
Yeah, look, Tygerberg, as Gary said, started off as a flat track, an orthodox dirt oval, where you needed your water truck to go around every now and then just to damper all the dust, because the guy on the stand with his whatever he's got, liquid refreshment, gets all the sand inside there, and it just gets in the person's throat. But over in the States, they've evolved to clay racing, or clay surface I should say, many years ago. And this is when the Liebenberg family took over Tygerberg Raceway. They also owned Boostsa Motor Club, and that's where it started evolving from the orthodox dirt circuit to the clay circuit, which of course makes a lot less dust, it's a lot less harder. You literally see black tire marks through the corner, and you hear the tires scream on the circuit. That's how hard it gets, and like I said, dust free.
So it's sort of a, if you want to call it a throw up, a nice medium between an actual hard tar track and an absolutely completely loose, dusty gravel track.
Yeah, you could literally run slick tires on that type of, that type of surface. But yeah, it's basically to have more grip, generate more power, more speed, and like I said, less dust.
Gary, you mentioned earlier on that the track itself, you mentioned international. What do you mean by international? I mean, what can you do on Tygerberg Raceway that you wouldn't be able to do on any other standard raceway?
Look, in general, oval track racing, gravel and tar is localized in the Western Cape area, and then you have your regional championships and you have your national championships. We decided at Tygerberg Raceway a couple of years ago that we want to get more towards the international style of things. The owner of Tygerberg Raceway, Chris Limburg, being very much into the late model type of motorsport, and therefore they went wider with the track, banked the track further, and made it possible for the late models. We have had internationals where we brought international drivers in that have competed against the local drivers, and in fact in the near future now we're going to be having hot rods and 2.1 modified saloon international drivers from Namibia, and then also from England, coming across and having an international event. So our drivers will have had national event to qualify to race in an international style event, and then obviously the international events which is coming up soon in those two specific classes.
Well, you mentioning those classes, but look, from where I come from, when I hear V8, I still just think of old Ford XR6s and XR8s, and I'm thinking Ford Capris and Piranhas. That's what I'm thinking. You know, but if you look at this massive picture on the wall behind you here, I mean, it's a little bit different. It's not the picture that you have in your mind when you think V8. You know, Frankie, tell me, how are these cars different to a regular V8?
Well, look, this is the Premier V8. So this is basically the Formula One of 8 cylinders, the Formula One of oval track racing.
Yes. In Cape Town or in South Africa?
Well, no, internationally, because the Americans, this is what it's all about in the States. But in South Africa, Tygerberg Raceway is completely unique. It's a unique circuit that's built and designed for these type of motor cars. Everything on this motor car works independently. These things run 800 plus horsepower. I think the owner of the track, Chris Liebenberg, has got 800 plus HP in this vehicle you see behind us. He comes out the corners on 3 wheels. Everything basically, in layman term, it thinks for itself. The suspension works independently, and you need to power it to get it through the corners. It's an absolute unique form of motor car, V8 wise, compared to your other modified V8s. So this is something completely unique.
Also, Gary, you also mentioned a little bit earlier on about your various other classes. You spoke about the 2.1, you know, you get the flexis and you get, I think it's, you call it the hot rods nowadays, the hot rods?
Oh, you've obviously been to the track, you know a little bit about this stuff.
I know a little bit.
We've got all the other conventional classes like 1660s, which is a modified saloon where you limit the volumetric motor down to a 1660 cc's, in other words, a 1660 oversize. Your 2.1 modified saloons goes a little bit further than that. 2.1 is your volumetric denomination for that, and then your hot rod class is pretty much, a lot of people refer to as checkbook racing, but that's what gives us the option to really put a couple of rand into a motor car and get very quick cars out there. Obviously also we run the midgets, super midgets on the same circuit as well, so we can run all the conventional classes and we can also run the late models there as well. So we don't lose out because we are catering for the late models. It's an addition.
And then to add to that, you've also got a 1600 stock rod class that runs with the 1660s. They don't run independently, they run with the 1660 modifieds.
The cars themselves, within all the classes, are they standardized? I mean, if you look at other races out there, is this a matter of who's got the faster car, or is it a matter of who's the faster driver?
It goes about a car-driver combination. Money in any sport makes a big difference. In rugby, the longer the studs, the faster you can pull away.
True.
In motorsport, obviously, it makes a difference. So the rules and regulations regarding the different classes are designed as such to make different cost effectiveness in different classes. Is it expensive? Yes, it is. They're very expensive to run, but running them in a small, confined environment like what we do, when you sit around the circuit, you can see the whole circuit. That's what makes it more exciting than if you go to a main circuit event where you can only see a portion of the track. So yeah, obviously the late models, they get expensive. It's of the latest technology that you get, and also the midgets as well, the super midgets. But there are classes that are cheaper and more capable for the average man to get to.
And that's where your 1600 stock rods comes in, and your 1660 that run, of course, together. Yes. Tygerberg Raceway is also very unique to V8 sprint cars. We haven't got that formula in Cape Town, but there are V8 sprint cars up in Johannesburg, and they have actually been to Tygerberg Raceway last season. So Tygerberg Raceway is absolutely unique compared to any other dirt oval in South Africa.
That's absolutely brilliant. Well, you know, in closing, we need to wrap up. At Tygerberg Raceway, I think I've heard through the grapevine, something's going down on February the 8th. What is actually happening there?
Two big dates. The 8th of February, 2.1 International at Tygerberg Raceway.
Yes.
And then on the 15th will be against the hot rods. So two different classes with international drivers. Anybody that wants to come down there, let it be known, if you don't get there early, you are not going to get into the circuit. We've had very large meetings before, but we've never been forced to close the gates, not allow anybody in. We're at the point now where we are running on max. So anybody who wants to join us at Tygerberg, the 8th and the 15th of February for the two internationals, come early, Braai facilities, fantastic, and I believe you guys are going to join us as well. So
Yes, we will.
we can see how good,
Looking
and we're
forward
going
to
to
you
put you
guys,
on the
yeah.
mic to commentate a race as well.
Yeah.
I'm bragging on that. But I'm sorry, I'm not
remember-
any cameras from my side.
Between Bryce, between Bryce.
Remember that we've got 6 drivers from the UK
Yes.
and we've got 4 drivers from Namibia
These are all coming down on the 8th.
coming down on the 8th. Yes.
And the 15th.
Well, they will be on the 15th as well, yes. They will be running against approximately 12 2.1 modified drivers in that class. And of course, the following Saturday, approximately 8, 9, maybe even 10 guys in the hot rod class that qualified both Saturdays. Like Gary said, if you don't get there early on the 8th and the 15th, you're going to be asked to come back another day. You need to get there early. We're looking at approximately how many thousands of people, would you say?
5,000
4,000,
plus.
5,000,
Otherwise, you're going to
yeah.
watch it on Cape Town television in a week or 2 later.
But you're going to watch in any case.
Oh yes.
Gentlemen, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. Thanks for coming on to Powershift. And we will see you on track.
Indeed, you
We'll
will.
see you on the 8th. Thank you very much.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
That was Frankie and Gary, 2 of the Western Cape's premier oval track racing motorsport commentators.